Yeah. Analytics off the chain, other channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. We got ourselves some breaking news that just came across here not too long ago. Pro Bowl quarterback Russell Wilson has been traded from the Seattle Seahawks to the Denver Broncos. So we're going to kind of go through what we know right now. What's the outlook for Seattle and Denver now that this trade has taken place? And what about some of the fantasy football fallout from this? So let's start off with what do we know as of right now. So Russell Wilson traded to the Denver Broncos for multiple picks and players, some that may be announced here a little bit later. But what we do know as of right now, included in this deal, Drew Lock going back to the Seattle Seahawks. Is he their new starting quarterback? We'll take a look at that here in just a second. Defensive lineman Shelby Harris also included, but then another big name, Noah Fant. Tight end Noah Fant from the Denver Broncos also seems to be included in this deal going back to Seattle. Now, Seattle gets quite a bit back in return for Russell Wilson, but does that mean that they become immediate, competitors in the NFC West? I can't see that, right? You got Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams coming off their Super Bowl win, trying to put the gang back together and go at it again. You got the young, filled San Francisco 49ers. They're going to be in play here in the division. The Arizona Cardinals were arguably one of the best teams overall in the NFL first half of last season. Do these moves help Seattle? No, maybe it helps them, for the future. If they were going to get something for Russell Wilson, I do believe that they got quite a bit back in return. Not enough to be competitive, though. I'm kind of excited to see Drew Lock get another chance. I don't think he was ever fully given an opportunity in Denver. Now, we do know that the Broncos were on the team list of available teams that Russell Wilson would go to in his no-trade clause, and this is still pending a physical, but we don't expect that to be an issue. Kind of weird that it happened just after Aaron Rodgers announced this morning that he was going to be returning to the Packers. A lot of people had the Broncos kind of circled for a potential destination for Aaron Rodgers. Once we found out that that wasn't going to be the case, not much longer, here we go, Russell Wilson moving on to Denver. They're saying that this has been something that's been in the works for weeks, and it had nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. It's just kind of weird it happened on the same day. Now, the AFC West going to be stacked. You got Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, now Russell Wilson, and Derek Carr. Sure, it kind of seems like we're playing one of those games of which one doesn't fit here, but Derek Carr, still a very viable quarterback here in the NFL that is still very underrated, in my opinion. A very fun division to watch. We're going to see for years and years to come here in the AFC West. But now let's break down Seattle. So Drew Lock is going to be their quarterback. I'm guessing going forward, you don't include him in this deal if you don't have a plan for him there in Seattle. There is really no other option there as of right now, so Drew Lock seems to be getting a chance to start over his career. He was never really given the full reins in Denver. There was always that cloud hovering over him of, he's the guy. No, he's not really the guy, but he's the guy right now, but he's not going to be the guy of the future. It's just never committed to Drew Lock, and he's going to have some weapons at his disposal. We know about DK Metcalf. We know about Tyler Lockett, and now that we know that Noah Fant is probably going to be included in this deal as well, a familiar face for him from Denver, definitely an opportunity for him to go out there and put up numbers in a division that can score points. So from a fantasy perspective, he may be somebody who on certain weeks could be something that we look at maybe for some DFS plays or something like that. Not somebody you're going to want as your season-long quarterback, but he is going to have weapons at his disposal. Now, we've been hearing Seattle talk about for a while now, they don't really want to rebuild, and they want to surround their offense with more offensive weapons. At the time, we thought it was for Russell Wilson. Does that still happen here? After the NFL draft, after free agency, what does the Seattle roster really look like? Are they going to compete for the NFC West? I don't believe so. Not anytime soon. Anyway, as for the Denver Broncos, though, if we knew and you knew the Denver Broncos had to know that they had zero shot at this division if they didn't find themselves a top-tier quarterback. With Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes going to be there for the foreseeable future, it was going to be hard for Denver to do anything, especially since the Raiders they're also competitive in this division as well. They didn't want to be bottom feeders for the next 5, 8, 10 years. They knew they had to make a splash. They had to go out there and get somebody. When Aaron Rodgers was no longer an option, insert Russell Wilson. And he doesn't have to sacrifice as far as weapons goes either. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton. You got Albert, are you okay? Albert, I wish I could pronounce your last name, Albert, but I didn't have time to sit here and try to enunciate it 15 times. So we're just sticking with Albert. Are you okay there now in Denver? What about the running game and Javonte Williams? Do they bring back Melvin Gordon? That's definitely something, another thing to pay attention to. You got Von Miller all of a sudden yesterday sending out some pretty cryptic tweets to make it seem like he's going to be going back to Denver. Is Denver just trying to put all their chips in the basket right now and say, listen, we understand that this is going to be a tough division for years to come. If we don't make a run now, we ain't going to have much of a chance. So that's definitely another name to pay attention to there. As far as the fantasy football fallout from this, you got to give an immediate bump to the guys in Denver, right? Especially Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Albert, are you okay? The running game, a definite bump for the Denver running game. The problem is, as much as I would love to just give it to Javonte Williams here, there's still rumors going around that Melvin Gordon could be brought back and involved in this running game. What we can say, though, is with Russell Wilson under center, it's going to open up the passing game. All of a sudden, opposing defenses need to account for the passing game. We can't really say that for the last few years with Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater there in Denver. Not at least like we can say it with Russell Wilson, who we know can go deep down the field. It's going to pull defenders outside the box and give the running backs more opportunities for some big plays. So that's definitely something else we're paying attention to. What I don't like, though, this has got to be an immediate hit in value to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Do I think that Seattle trails a lot and that they're going to have to throw the ball a lot? Yeah, I kind of do, especially in this division. I think the volume could still be there, but the quality of targets is definitely going to take a hit, and we may not see the quote-unquote safety from these guys that we've seen in the past. Sure, they're both kind of boom or bust, but by the end of the year, you kind of know what to expect from these guys. Going into 2022, I don't think we can say that. And on a similar note, we may not be able to do that with Denver either. Are we going to be able to go in every week, at least to start the season, and know who Russ's number one target is going to be? No, we really don't. We know he likes his tight ends inside the red zone. We know he likes, the likes of a deep threat like DK Metcalf, which we can kind of compare to maybe a Cortland Sutton. He likes the short, quick, crossing routes. That could be a Jerry Jeudy right here in this offense. So it's going to kind of take us a few weeks to see how he evolves in this offense. And it may make these guys kind of hard to predict on a weekly basis to start off 2022, but it's going to be exciting. It's fun. We talked about Aaron Rodgers going back to Green Bay, and now we're starting to see a lot of these chips kind of fall into place, right? We have franchise tags going out to Mike Gesicki, to Dalton Schultz there in Dallas. We're starting to, hear some more rumors about some guys signing some big name contracts. What about Mike Williams? That just came out as well as we're recording this video. Mike Williams signing a huge deal with the Los Angeles Chargers. That's why this AFC West is going to be stacked and very exciting for years to come. And it makes a lot of sense as to why Denver went out and made this trade. But I want to know what you think. Leave those comments down below. Are you excited to see Russell Wilson in Denver? Are you a Seattle Seahawks fan right now and you're just absolutely depressed because he's gone? Leave those comments down below in the comment section. Looking forward to hearing your take here on this recent breaking news. I want to make sure we got it out there as soon as we possibly could. So do me a favor, hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't, because we're going to be following these news stories all off season long to make sure you are prepared for the 2022 fantasy football season. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, a great week, and we'll talk to you later.
I'm a headliner.